you excited to kick off Terri and Krause Convention for her. So much better. My team 7th grade happened to be, so I'm used to lots of noise, so then have to interact with the crowd. So, good morning, my name is Anna. I'm currently MOSHAPE's president, and it's my honor to have all of you here today. So thank you to everyone for coming out and being a part of this. It's an amazing convention. I'm so excited to have all of you here. We couldn't have done this without all of you. You are the reason that we are here and that we are advocating for quality health and needs. So first, I want to thank our board and Tom and our executive committee, Catherine and Guy, and everyone on our board for all of their help, and my meeting committee, planning committee for helping me with putting this convention together. It has been a complete journey, but it's an amazing. We have people from across the country today, from Missouri to California to Kentucky to Tennessee to North Carolina to New Jersey. New Jersey, three people around the country, and I know this is some states, so I apologize if I didn't get you all. Illinois, Indiana, yes, I think I got it all. So, without that, we are going to get started, and as we get started, we're going to go ahead and honor our Veterans Day today. We're going to have Mark Terri come up as Mark is actually did a session for convention this morning with him and Nick Clemens. Nick, where are you? Oh, okay. But how many of you attended the strength and conditioning session this morning? Yes? How was it? Everyone, I hope it was amazing. Yes? All right, well, thank you so much for being here. You need the slide?
Before I start the pledge, you are currently serving. Can you stand up and be recognized? Because you all are the inspiration for why I do it. So. Awesome, thank you. So if everybody can just stand up and face the flag, you can say the pledge.
Thank you, Mark. And while we are in a space with this ambience, I'm going to have Tom Lowry, our executive director, come up and have a moment. We lost someone very near and dear to us in our profession and in our MOSHAPE community, and we need to make sure that we are honoring her this morning. We'd really like to take a moment just to do that. And so, Tom, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you, Anna. We're very proud to have you here. This is emotional, but we'll get through it. MOSHAPE lost a long-term member and convention attendee. She was registered this year on Monday, October 17, when Gene Kuska's life was ended at the hands of a shooter at the St. Louis Visual and Performing Arts High School. We have colleagues here from the St. Louis Public Schools, and they share much of the grief that we all share. She died while protecting her students by confronting the shooter. He had a list of 63 targets. His goal was to have the largest mass school shooting in the country. She confronted him. The St. Louis City Police came in, challenged the shooter, and his life was ended also. She was a highly respected teacher of health, finance, and physical education. The tributes that came through in the St. Louis media were powerful. She was loved and respected by all. She's survived by her husband, 2 sons, 3 daughters, and many grandchildren. She died a hero and exemplified all that is good with MOSHAPE and each of you as members of this great profession. In her honor, we are going to pass the jug and do your part, even if it's $1 that you've got. And we're going to deliver this to the family as a remembrance. I'm starting. I guess the top comes off this, does it?
There you go, I got you.
I'm starting with a pretty good sized number. I don't expect you to match me, but if you can, let's let it happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. So it's going to just pass around, and anything that you're able to give, we really, truly appreciate it. Little talk about sharing our story and the theme for the convention this year. When the theme kind of came to fruition, we started to do these advocacy videos, and this is when COVID was starting to come. We were starting to kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, and Guy Danoff, came back into my school and with Sean Nevels, and we came in to see what it was looking like as a healthy schools during COVID and PE. And we talked to my principals, and it started to really tell the story of what had been happening and where we've advocated from. And it really then starting from, during COVID, when all of us came together virtually and started to truly advocate for quality health and PE across the platforms and unite in a way that I've never seen before. So all of you, the collective impact that we have created and that we've done, this is your convention. And it's these stories, all of your stories, this is why it's sharing our story. We have this story to tell and to share, and it's all of your stories, from you as educators to leaders to superintendents to principals to your students, to the parents, the community, to our vendors that are here. They have all their missions and visions, their purpose, here to support you and all of us and what we do to advocate for quality health and PE. These are our stories of quality health and PE. Our stories are your stories. And that's why this is I'm gonna cry. That's why it is a celebration of all of those stories brought together as we are celebrating them this weekend. So I just want to thank all of you for being a part of it. You are the people that created it. You're the people that gave me the vision, the inspiration for that theme to come to fruition and come to life. And as it was happening, it just felt right. And we just kept circling this thing of there's a story to tell, there's a story to tell. It just, that phrase just kept saying it out loud. And that's how the theme was created. So thank you to all of you. It wouldn't have happened without talking and knowing all of you. So I hope that all of you enjoy it, because this is your convention for this weekend. So thank you. And with that, so much so, our CEO, Stephanie Morris from Shape America, she is a part of this, and she wanted to be here this weekend. She was not able to, but she did create a little video to send and share with all of you, because she wanted to say a few words. So I'm going to go ahead and play that very quickly. And I need your password because the screen locked.
I love Chris.
Technology works great when it works.
Oh, that's what it is. Good boy. Puppies and kittens, 1, 2, 3. That's the longest password I've ever.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
to experience or have experienced already.
Okay, here we go.
Hi, MOSHAPE. It's Stephanie Morris, CEO of Shape America. It is such an honor to be with you virtually in this very brief video just to say hello, welcome to this amazing MOSHAPE conference that you are about to experience or have experienced already. I absolutely love the theme. Sharing our story is so meaningful on so many levels, and each of you have so much story to share. The work that you do and the impact that you have on the lives of your students every day is incredible. You make such a difference in our world, in our nation, and I hope you know how much we appreciate you at Shape America and at MOSHAPE. We are always here to celebrate you and lift you up and serve you in any way we can. And I have to give a brief shout out to MOSHAPE and to all of you who are members of this incredible community, because you are one of the top Health Moves Minds states in the country. You are at the top of the leaderboard, my friends, and we are so proud of all of the amazing efforts that have gone on in Missouri to share Health Moves Minds, to implement it in schools, and to raise really important funds for schools, for their health and PE programs, and for charities that mean something to that school. Huge shout out in particular to Christy Beery and Kyle Salvo, two of our most amazing Health Moves Minds champions ever. So here is to you, MOSHAPE. We are so proud of all that you do and all that you accomplish. I hope you have a wonderful week at MOSHAPE, and thank you again for this amazing opportunity and moment.
So if you are interested in Health Moves Minds, we have a fantastic program. It is wonderful. If you have not signed up yet, please go register your school and sign up. It's fantastic. And I will give a shout out to our SEAL team fam, and they're having 3 sessions this weekend. There is one roundtable discussion at 3:30 today in Sea Chase, and then there are 2 tomorrow. And we could not have done this without our wonderful Kentucky People Health Moves Minds team that is here with us to celebrate the Health Moves Minds. Our K-Shape, MOSHAPE family for Health Moves Minds is amazing. So Jamie Sparks, Katie Embry, and Angela Stark are here with us. Thank you so much for being here, advocating, and helping to share Health Moves Minds. Those 2 other sessions are tomorrow at 2:15. No, I'm sorry. Let me pull that back. It is at 9:30. At 9:30 to 10:30 in Granada BNC, followed by 10:45 to 11:45 also in Granada BNC. So that is the other Health Moves Minds session. So I'm going to turn it over to Laura Beckman, who is retired again, but has come out of retirement. And she is here from Missouri Healthy Schools to celebrate some new exciting information about more money coming into MOSHAPE to advocate. So, Laura, the floor is yours.
Oh, hi, everybody. Okay, so I get 2 minutes, so I'm going to make this fast. I've been partnering with Missouri MOSHAPE and have done so much work with MOSHAPE over the years. I've been blessed to be working with so many excellent professionals, and I'm so glad you're here. What I would like to say is that MOSHAPE and Missouri Healthy Schools, which is a DESE CDC funded grant, we have funds to support your physical education programs and health education programs. You all are 2 of the top 10 components in the hub of a school that create healthy children and develop healthy children. So I want you to know that CDC embraces that. There will be another round of funding. However, this year, if you decide that you want to go to these Health Moves Minds, which I encourage you to, not only because it's an excellent thing to implement around SEL and developing healthy school climates and social and emotional learning opportunities or residency for your children, but there will be some scholarship opportunities. Missouri Healthy Schools is providing $30,000 for the top 20 schools to come in for a scholarship. Not that you're getting $30,000, but you will get a piece of that $30,000. So if you're interested in getting some funds for your program to begin looking at social and emotional lessons and implementing them, that's the carrot to maybe get you started. And also we provide technical assistance and training through our SEAL team group over here. So the other opportunity is that Sherry Beeler and myself are working on other funds. So another $30,000 is given to your school districts for looking at how you're implementing comprehensive school physical activity programs. So it could involve employee wellness, it could involve recess, it could involve classroom energizers, it could involve quality physical education support. So if you need some extra funds, then you can work with us and we will provide some funding for that. So I just wanted to let you know that, we're here to support you, and our session is called How Do You Rate Your Physical Education Program and Connecting to Other Resources. So that'll be tomorrow, and Your Health Moves Mine starts today. As a DESE, I also work with Tom in really just providing funds to pay for professional development through all of the professionals of MOSHAPE. So training, technical assistance needs, please let us know, because we do have those regional opportunity workshops. I do have another great part of my job is working with school leaders, such as these two to my right, who they put a bright spot in my life. We're on, they do stuff with me all the time, right? We're on monthly meetings and we do a lot of professional development, technical assistance. I could not speak more higher than school leadership that promotes and advocates for quality health and PE programming and healthy children so that they can reach academic success. So I would like to introduce my good friend, Ashley Krause. Dr. Krause is from Farmington School District. She's an associate superintendent, and she has tons of great things to say about what they've done from the beginning to the end and their journey. And then also my good friend, Amy Ruzicka, who is superintendent of Bayless School District, and all of the great work that they have been doing in transforming their school district and focusing on climate and school wellness. So these two are amazing, and I would go to their session because they will tell you how they support and how can you get the support from your leadership to move forward and start that journey. So here you go. I can start from here.
Huh? You gonna hit it?
Want to start with it?
Yeah.
Say something as a leader.
All right. So I am so excited to be here today. First of all, you need to know that I'm a super big introvert. And so the first time that I came to MOSHAPE, I was completely caught off guard. So whenever I go to professional development, kind of just sit there in your straight little traditional rows and you don't really talk too much. And people were dancing at this thing. And I thought, son of a gun, what have I got myself into? So it is the absolute best conference that I have ever been to. And I've been to tons of conferences in leadership across the states. Welcoming, passionate, intensive. I cannot speak more highly about this conference. Amazing people. And I always learn much whenever I come here.
Direct them with the screen.
Oh, and if you could watch the screen super quick, we'll give you a little glimpse and then I'll say a few words.
We originally started looking at the WISC model 2 years ago. We're focusing on student wellness rather than rolling out the balls and go play basketball.
When Dr. Krause talked about integrating the WISC model into our classrooms, it made the biggest difference in the world.
I believe the WISC model has allowed us to be more intentional with what we're doing.
Again, when we first started off, everything was about bringing the silos into one for that true wraparound model of the whole child. We started to use a lot of the vocabulary and making sure that our staff, students, and community understood the vocabulary of WISC. We're all working together and we're not just in our little silos where we just feel all alone. around. So we're really wrapping around the student.
Our kids are not physically active as often as they need to be. We brought the heart rate monitors into our classrooms, which has been one of the biggest changes in the physical education classrooms. The first, I would say, 2 weeks that we had them, we caught 2 students that their heart rates were extremely high, and we didn't really know what was going on with it. We weren't even really exercising that much at the time. They were just standing there waiting for the activity to start.
So if it was social emotional learning, we would go back to the bare basics of our school social workers, our counselors, our director of safety actually has a very good handle on social emotional learning and social intelligence and social IQ. So we went back to them to be able to figure out what do we truly need to do to maintain and make sure that at that core, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
I realized we've got to get to the social emotional needs. We've got to get to those physical needs. And my wife and I work very close and have a lot of conversations about, professional life and it's slowly starting to push in that direction to where we're at.
So there's that. So basically what I can tell you is I'm going to give you a little personal validation and a little bit of organizational leadership validation. So several years ago, I was lucky enough to be given the chance to take on the leadership role of associate superintendent in our district. And we had a lot of things that were going great, and we had a lot of things that being transparent were not going real wonderful. And that role that I took on worked with counselors and social workers and director of safety and SROs and all those pieces that didn't quite make sense to me, but I figured that they all kind of fit together. At that point, physical education teachers came to me and said, listen, we don't feel like the true professionals that we could really be. We don't feel like we have an advocate for us, and we would like you to stand up and be our advocate. It's the best thing that those professionals ever did to change my life. So I think they thought they were coming to be helped or supported. And what they did was set in motion something that became a phenomenal system within our district. And every bit of that WISC model and that wraparound service started with physical education in our district. The professionals were amazing. They were intense. They were pushy when they needed to be with funding. They would not take no for an answer. And they are changing lives at this very moment. Again, I cannot speak more highly of what you do within your profession. I'm married to, as you saw, Mr. Krause is now our director of safety, but he used to teach physical education. So with that, I have a lot of feelings and emotions behind exactly everything that you do. I've seen it done. And again, that wraparound service model that you provide to students is absolutely amazing. And again, this is an awesome conference, and I am extremely blessed to be in the room with all of you.
All right, good afternoon. I'm Amy Ruzicka. This is my first year as superintendent of Bayless School District. I've been in the district for many years. This is my first MOSHAPE conference. I'm very excited. I can tell you, as a longtime math teacher, the math conferences weren't this fun. So kudos to you. In just a moment, you're going to get a sneak peek. Like Ashley, we have Missouri Healthy Schools on the Move videos. We had one created last year, and then Guy and his team were out in September to create our new video. And so it's not quite ready yet, but it's going to make its debut next week. So stay tuned. So you're going to get a quick sneak preview. I literally saw this probably about half an hour ago. So it's fresh, brand new, hot off the presses. So we'll just do this introduction, and then I'll follow it up and share a little bit about what we're doing in Bayless. It was actually in one of our meetings for Missouri Healthy Schools. We learned about some of the work that Laura Beckman and Tom Lowry had done to really correlate not only healthy fitness zones, but also attendance and then academic performance. And so we really wanted to dig into that within our system, considering all the work we had done around social emotional learning, and to look at the impact on attendance and academic performance, but then to bring in that physical activity component. So again, partnering with our instructional technology specialist who does our core data, working with our health and PE team to find a way to seamlessly move that fitness data into our student information system so that we could run reports to correlate the number of healthy fitness zones met with the student's GPA and with their attendance. So you can hear my math background there. I'm like, show me the data. So we've done some really powerful work thanks to Dr. Lowry and to Laura Beckman in stealing that idea about really quantifying what we know to be true, that healthy students have better attendance, better grades, and again, are happy, healthy, well-adjusted young people. So through this work, we have, because again, the proof is in the pudding, we have advocated for and increased our after-school activities for students by about 200%. So from grades 3 through 8 in our intramural program, biking, we're currently working on a bike to school initiative. So it very much is woven into everything we do. And I can't thank the MOSHAPE team enough, Missouri Healthy Schools. We've been honored to partner with them for about the last 5 years, and it's truly been a transformational process using the WISC model. But at the very core, and I'm very passionate, and hopefully you can come to our session on advocacy at 2:15. Two things I'm incredibly passionate about are holistic programs for student and staff and community wellness and teacher leadership. You all are in the classrooms, in the gyms, on the fields, working with our students, caring for our students, empowering our students each and every day. And so our programs, our wellness journey was powered by teacher leadership. So again, you all are those people that make it happen. You're the conduit. And so we're going to be talking later this afternoon about some different strategies to help you really make your mark and advocate for higher quality health, PE, social emotional learning programs, and beyond. So thank you for having us. And again, hopefully you can join us at 2:15.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ashley and Amy. One of the things that we were really intentional about this year with sharing our story is really starting to advocate intentionally and utilizing the superintendent's voices of administrators that are supporting our profession and are working with us and meeting us on the front lines to advocate and to make a difference. And they have been amazing. So we really wanted to hear from their voices this year as well, because they're the ones that are helping us get more money, advocate. They're putting it in the forefront of our schools, and they are helping us fight our fight. So thank you both so much for doing that. And without further ado, I really want to introduce our keynote for today, our main person, the Shape America past president, Terri Drain. So happy to have you here, Terri. Thank you so much. She's in from California, and we cannot be more excited to have you. So thank you. While she's getting set up, I'll remind you that we are voting today for president-elect. That closes at, what time does it close today? 12 tomorrow it closes. So Sean Nevels and Julie Lukanoff are candidates for president-elect. And go vote online.
Thank you, Anna. Is that good? Can you hear me? I wanted to start by sharing my favorite quote. The game is never more important than the people you play it with. Let's take a minute to appreciate how great it is to be here in person in the Ozarks at MOSHAPE 22 with friends old and new and friends we haven't made yet. If you haven't already introduced yourself to the people on your left and right, I'd like you to do that now, and you have 30 seconds. Today, I want to share with you the most important thing I learned in my 34 years of teaching. I'm doing this because I want to empower you to be able to get what you need so you can do your best work, love what you do, and be more effective at making a lifelong impact on the students you teach. So what is it? What was the most important thing I learned in all my years of teaching? This. Sell it. What's it? Movement, physical education, your program, you. To who? Your students, parents, administrators, school board members, for starters. Why? Many people don't get what we do. They have no idea about the great work going on in our classrooms, or the unique relationship we have with our students, or the difference we make in the lives of children every single day. This is because they're operating on old, outdated assumptions and stereotypes about physical education. For them, PE is a break from learning when kids can get the wiggles out and play some games. And this kind of thinking puts us in the nice to have column for school curriculum versus need to have. It also drives decisions about money, resources, time allocated in the school day for our subject, and more. And it's frustrating, I know, because there's amazing work going on out there. Raising the status of PE to the level of core component in the school curriculum is a huge challenge that must be addressed at every level. Rest assured that Shape America and MOSHAPE are working hard at the state and national levels to achieve this. There is plenty of work to be done. So if you are interested in getting involved at these levels, talk to me later. What I want to talk to you today, though, is what can be done at the school level to counteract this thinking. If you're someone who feels your program isn't supported to the same level as other subjects, has to deal with large classes, is frustrated about decisions being made about scheduling, budgeting, student placement, exemptions, or just feels plain unappreciated, I hear you. I've experienced all of these things. Today I have my teacher hat on, and I'm going to share some strategies and actions that worked for me to turn things around. Strategies and actions that you can implement immediately to change perceptions and start getting what you need to thrive and provide quality instruction. Well, how do we sell it? It starts with a simple three-part plan. Step one, establish a need and identify a product that is uniquely positioned to meet that need. 2, deliver the product. 3, saturate the market with elements of your brand. Each of these steps is a prerequisite to the next. As tempting as it is, don't jump ahead to step 3 without doing 1 and 2. That would be seriously counterproductive. Well, let's look at what's needed to put this plan in motion. Step 1, establish a need and provide a product that's uniquely positioned to meet that need. What's the need? This need is based on a fundamental human right as articulated by the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. All children should have the means and the opportunity to develop to their full potential. For children to develop to their full potential, they need to be physically literate. When a child is physically literate, the gateway is open to active participation in life. When a child is not physically literate, the gateway is closed, and the consequences are lifelong and severe. Please take a moment to read this research. The product that is uniquely positioned to meet this need is quality physical education taught by credentialed experts. That's us. Developing competent, confident, and motivated movers is what we are trained to do. We have knowledge of motor growth and development, motor learning, biomechanics, exercise physiology, and more. No one else has this expertise. Developing physical literacy is our unique contribution to the education of children. Step 2, deliver the product. The product must match the hype. No false advertising. If we say we deliver physical literacy, we must actually deliver physical literacy. For students to be physically literate, there are skills, concepts, and attitudes that must be learned. And this requires a focus on learning and the use of a standards-based approach to instruction. I'm not going to lie, this is the hard part. Because even though we've had standards for a while, our profession's transition to standards-based instruction is still underway. And it's still not widely understood what standards-based physical education looks like. This is a work in progress for us all, myself included. If you're at the beginning of this journey, here's what I can tell you. When a standards-based approach to instruction is used, learning is planned for. It's intentional, not incidental. Learning goals are shared with students so they know what is required to demonstrate success. Learning experiences are progressive, developmentally appropriate, and provide ample opportunities to practice, receive feedback, and demonstrate achievement. And instruction is differentiated, so every child learns and moves forward on their physical literacy journeys. It's not as complicated as it sounds. With the help of my students, I have today a video showing what standards-based instruction looks like in physical education.
The first step in standards-based instructional design is to select grade-level outcomes for students to learn. Such as this 5th grade one my students worked on as part of their striking unit. The next step is to unpack it, to identify what students should know and do. Before planning any lessons, it's important to figure out what it's going to look like when students have achieved the GLO. From there, instructional activities are selected or developed and organized into a lesson sequence. Based on the content.
My apologies.
The first step in standards-based instructional design is to select grade-level outcomes for students to learn. Such as this 5th grade one my students worked on as part of their striking unit. The next step is to unpack it, to identify what students should know and do. Before planning any lessons, it's important to figure out what it's going to look like when students have achieved the GLO. From there, instructional activities are selected or developed and organized into a lesson sequence. Based on the content needed to be covered in this GLO, a 4-lesson learning sequence was developed. Every activity was purposeful and designed to progressively develop students' skill to the point where they could rally continuously. To illustrate that point, let's look at lesson 3. Going into the lesson, students already knew what they were learning, why they were learning it, and how they would know if they had learned. The first activity had students work through these paddle challenges. The intent here was to get them warmed up and practicing their hand-eye coordination. Next, the forehand stroke, which students were Also working on was reviewed, as were tactics for keeping a rally going. These have been introduced in the previous lesson. In the main part of the lesson, students worked through these rally progressions with their partner. Each progression had to be successfully completed before moving on to the next. Once students could rally 10 times, and therefore had achieved the GLO, they continued to challenge themselves by trying to rally for as long as possible. Students recorded their progress with these assessment magnets. Here's what the rally progressions looked like. As you can see, by the end of the lesson, most students could rally 10 times, but some were not there yet. This was expected. In my plan for lesson 4, there were activities for the students who had achieved the GLO aimed at getting them to improve the quality of their rallies and hits, as well as activities to help the others get to the point where they could rally 10 times.
Our goal is to increase students' I cans. The more I cans they have, the more activities they're able to participate in, and the door to active participation in life is open for both now and the future. Standards-based instructional design is a game changer for your students, without a doubt. And it's a game changer for you in many ways, including when it comes to selling yourself and your program. When PE is educative, it becomes aligned with the goal of schooling, moving us to the need to have column. This gives you both power and leverage. Learning requires the following, and it's your administrator, school district, and school board's job to provide it. A credentialed teacher, high-quality professional development, appropriate class sizes, appropriate facilities, sufficient equipment, appropriate scheduling, and student placement. Need to make a case for smaller class sizes? Student learning. Want to put a stop to students getting pulled out of your classes for making up tests in other subjects? Student learning. Tired of students getting PE credit for marching band? Student learning. When it comes to selling PE, your program, and you, the fact that important learning is happening is one of the most powerful tools you have. But it's not the only tool. Because physically literate students not only say, I can, but also, I like it. This is the motivation piece of physical literacy. A child can have all the skill in the world, but if they don't want to move, that's a problem. Turning kids onto physical activities so they want to move, both in your class and beyond, has to be a top priority and must be planned for just as intentionally as learning is planned for. Well, how do we do this? It starts by making PE and physical activity fun. We can't scare kids into being physically active or make it a duty, because that's not how their adolescent brains work. But we can motivate them to move by recognizing that it's the here and now that's important to them. Dr. Scott Kretschmar, a well-known philosopher in our field, points that PE is primed for fun. Kretschmar says, we are purveyors of one of the greatest playgrounds known to humankind, with grassy fields, fresh air, gymnasiums, dance floors, and a whole myriad of exciting equipment. Our playground is associated with sensory delights and the home to special experiences not available to students when confined to a classroom and seated in a chair. The fun factor is huge. It's not only important for motivating kids to move, but a huge determinant for how PE is perceived and valued. Imagine where we would be today if every parent, administrator, school board member, and politician remembered PE as both important and their favorite part of the school day. So what do? How can we capitalize on this information? Great question. First, let's accept that fun is part of what we do. It should not be a dirty word. And let's talk about it. Share strategies. In this room, I know there's a ton of knowledge and experience. A few minutes ago, you chatted with the people around you. Turn to one of these folks right now and share with them some of your ideas for how to make PE fun for every child, and you have 30 seconds. Say what? Where's your time frame? I think another 12 minutes or so.
Yeah, another 12 minutes.
I'll try. All right, well, I've done some research on this topic, a little homework, consulted the best of the best, educators in our field that are known for having a commitment to making physical education fun for every child. And here are some ideas they have given me to share with you. Top 10 in reverse order. Start the year with team building activities to develop a sense of community. Use music to inspire, motivate, and bring movement to life and life to movement. Get to know your students. Notice when they need to be lifted up and do it. So every child has the opportunity to lead, contribute, and shine. Live by these words of Maya Angelou. Look for fresh, non-traditional games and activities and strategies to use as vehicles for students to apply their skills, such as pickleball, circus arts, cricket, ultimate frisbee, and use small-sided and modified games to maximize involvement. Mix it up. PE is more than developing fitness. Provide a well-rounded curriculum that includes dance, individual, dual, and team activities. And while you're at it, when you do work on fitness, camouflage it with activities such as tag, Tabata, rope jumping, relays, fast-moving games, and adventure runs. Use activities that stimulate the imagination and transport students to another place. Where else can you outrun a giant boulder like Indiana Jones? Rescue a fellow astronaut from a black hole, steal Smaug's jewels, or cross a river of hot chocolate on marshmallows. Provides opportunities for students to explore, create, express themselves, laugh, scream, giggle, and play. Put students in charge of their own learning. Provide just right challenge so success is within reach of all. And finally, most of all, focus on learning and developing skill competency. Both rate high on the fun scale because they bring students a sense of accomplishment by helping them feel more equipped to take on the world. This is what being a kid is all about. And when in doubt, remember the golden rule. Think through the eyes of a child. Smile, laugh often, make mistakes, share your love for movement and what you do. Make it your goal for physical education to be the best part of every student's day. How will you know if you're successful? Watch them. We've established the need, talked about how to deliver the product. Now comes the final part. Saturate the market with elements of your brand. Translation, share the great things happening in your program at every opportunity. The goal of step 3 is to develop some serious FOMO. So every student wants to be in your class, and anything interfering with your ability to provide quality physical education would be unacceptable. The goal of step 3 is also to prime your administrator to make the ask for what you need to level up. The message you're sending has a 1-2 punch. 1, there's important learning going on, and 2, it's fun. Not just fun, important learning and fun. That's it. Repeat, repeat in as many different ways as possible. Coming up are 3 examples of what you can do to saturate the market. As you watch, look for the 1-2 punch and think about what you might do. First example, activate your messengers and pay it forward. Do this by making sure your students know what the purpose of physical education is and why it's important. And letting them know what they're learning every lesson. Then capping it off by assigning homework where they're to teach their parents what they learned in class that day. And by making PE a positive experience for all, you're paying it forward because today's students are tomorrow's decision makers. Second example, bring your parents to PE week. Thank you, Will Potter. Best idea ever. Invite your parents to join their child's PE class so they can experience firsthand what their children are learning. A great tool for elementary physical education. If you teach at that level, please consider giving it a try. To help you get started, I've created a handout folder with all the information and materials you need to get started. I'll share a link for it at the end of this presentation. The first step is to create a little excitement. Third example, make a movie. Put those smartphones to good use. Collect pictures and video throughout the year, and then use an app like iMovie to make some magic. My movies were typically 8 minutes or so. This is a shortened version. If you'd like to see the whole thing, you can please check out my website.
Looking out a dirty old window. Outside, the cars in the city go rushing by. I sit here alone and I wonder why. Friday night and everyone's moving. I can feel the heat, but it's soothing heading down. I search for the beat in this dirty town. Downtown Leon without going. Downtown Leon without going. We're the kids in America. We're the kids in America. Everybody lives to go round. Bright lights and music gets faster. Good boy, don't check out your watch. Not another glance. I'm not leaving now, honey, not a chance. Hot shot, give me no problems. Much later, baby, you'll be saying never mind. You know life is cruel, life is never kind. Not to make it a story, not to travel in glory. We're the kids in America. We're the kids in America. Everybody live by the music around. on. Got to get a brand new experience feeling right. Oh, go and try to stop it, baby, hold me tight. Outside a new day is done. Outside suburbia's sprawling everywhere. I don't want to go, baby. New York to East California. There's a new coming, I warn ya. We're the kids in America. We're the kids in America. Everybody lift up hands and go around. Wow. We're the kids in America. We're the kids in America. Everybody lift up hands and go around.
All right. This presentation has been about selling movement, your program, and you with a 3-part plan and a 1-2 punch. My hope is that I've gotten you thinking about what you can do to sell it so you can start getting what's needed for both you and your students to thrive. Thank you so much and have a great conference.
That was awesome video. Thank you so much. Thank you, Terri, so much. I love that video at the end. It was outstanding. Very quickly, we have sessions in here. Huge shout out to everyone that's been here. There are seats. Please move them back into a perimeter seating. And while you're doing that, I have one thing to tell you about game night tonight.